Hey everybody, clearing. All right, we are going to dive into a illumination reading. And what I'm hearing on the pre-shuffle is, what do we need to see regarding our connections fully at this time? What is it that we need to see brought to light? How is that relevant to our material realm experience? What do we need to know specifically regarding our counterpart in light of what's brought up in this reading? And some advice going forward. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see brought into full illumination at this time? What is this collective ready to see? No holds barred at this time about their connection. How is that information relevant to their daily life at this time? And what is needing to be brought up into the light specifically regarding the counterpart with what we're going to see here? All right, here we go. So about the connection, what are we most that we can manifest it, that this is an exercise in manifestation, that true love is one of the most audacious manifestations that a divine being can bring into physical form. It's like the Holy Grail. And so we have the Magician here, meaning anything is possible. We have the ability to anchor this stuff into the material realm. Each one of us that aligns with our deepest righteousness is an engineer of that. How does this relate to our physical? This is what moves your union forward. So this journey only moves forward when you believe. I just heard ye of little faith. Snap, snap. Start believing. Start finding a way to anchor in realistic, grounded, actual ways to bring yourself into alignment with that which you are being pulled towards. This love, this way of loving, actually loving. Really ask yourself, what next step do I have to take in order to get myself positioned to connect with this love of a lifetime that I'm in the process of learning even what it is? You know, we're all on this journey. None of us have an instruction manual. Our hearts hold the keys to each next step. So this is a personal responsibility in manifestation. If you believe it, you can achieve it. We only actually believe something to be true that our head and heart can agree on. And so trust your heart and now bring your awarenesses into agreement with your heart. You can't deke yourself out or fake it. You're going to have to find a believable way of looking at it, looking at what your heart is saying, so that you actually manifest it. I've heard it said before that our manifestations come in as quickly as we can bring our thoughts into alignment with our heart. And this is that message here. So that's what you need to know about your connection. If you are in fear or disbelief, your connection will stall. Nobody wants to say that they are in that kind of an energy. It's not always the case. There are periods of time where we're learning different lessons, but right now be curious if this message is yours. What needs to be brought to light regarding the counterpart? Ooh, the Queen of Wands. This is the flow. This is the martial artist flow. This is being able to take the energies and move them at will. So whatever's coming towards you, thoughts, awarenesses, circumstances, spin it in your favor by looking at it through a divine lens, not fear. Work with the energies, align with the forces. Even this magician here is taking the energies and moving them through. The Chariot is about movement. So you can bring movement to your journey. You have the ability to take these energies and transmute them into the meaningful way that you can utilize them, that you can apply them to your life. That is the key to progressing at each level of awareness that you find yourself at. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So if your journey is not moving forward, you have the ability to shift your perspective and activate a change to come in to your connection. This connection is teaching you how to do that. You win some, you lose some. Think of the times you did bring momentum in and sit with the state you were in when that flow happened, when you got the desired momentum. Look at your attitude, look at your heart space, look at your mind space. Tap back into that frequency that allowed you to synergize and bring that synergy into your dynamic. When things go smoothly, we hardly are aware that they could go in another way. Really pay attention to that process for you. What can we see for what we're meant to know about our thoughts regarding our specific person? We're all learning this higher love. We have the lovers here, so we're all grounding this higher love. Now, when we are ready for love, we are given a mirror that helps us learn the specific awarenesses to make it real. And so, congratulations, I'm hearing you have effectively found your current mirror for your level of awareness, your belief in love. You found someone who will reflect exactly your state of consciousness and awareness about what you believe love to be, about how you believe love is accessed, what the easy or difficult aspects of love are. They are all inherent in this connection that you find yourself in. How is that relevant in the material realm? This is destiny. We've got 4 major arcana here: the Magician, the Chariot, the Lovers, the Star. This is divinely decreed for this time on planet Earth. This level of awakening to what love is in relationships is part and parcel for this mass ascension that we find ourselves in at this time where we are becoming global. As within, so without. And as we unify internally, we are unifying as a global population. There's a lot of process to undergo, but we are doing it. What you do for self, you do for all others. I heard calm the war within. What can we see specifically regarding our counterpart? 3 of Pentacles in the inverse. This is the material realm. So there's so much more going on than meets the eye. This is the energy of things. We're looking at the master manifestations here, grounding this love by utilizing our free will wisely to see it for what it is, not to project onto it assumptions, attachments, expectations, but to witness and to co-create, to consciously direct the potentials that we're witnessing in the gratitude, in the joy, in the deep appreciation for what it is that we can celebrate in the energy. Focus on the golden nuggets of awareness that bring you joy in your connection. Focus on the deeper things, the more beautiful things. The triumphs, the victories. What can we see specifically for what needs to be brought to light on the heart space? Reciprocity. Okay, even if the math is not obvious at first, every single one of us is getting mega growth from our connections, either directly or indirectly. And this is a reciprocal process. It may not be the same exact theme or growth for each counterpart at this level of consciousness, but it is happening. It is changing each counterpart's lives in the ways that are needed most. I'm hearing tuck that in your heart and hold it dear. It is true. What do we need to see regarding our counterpart? This is healing the abandonment wound, because we're seeing that even if it's not exactly the same lesson, it's complementary, and it's not about disagreements. It's not even about agreeing to disagree. This is about seeing outside of the confines of such a limited perspective, and now seeing how marvelous things work together. Sometimes where we least suspect it, our assumptions are only so big. But the miracles happen when we don't push an agenda, when we celebrate our own growth, and we allow that other person to do with it what they may, and it changes their life in the creative, brilliant ways that they decide to apply the lessons that they learn. Let your alignment be so true that you don't have to know how it affects your person. Let the divine work through you so that your person is blessed. Allow the energy that your person offers you to be divine blessing in your life, without pinning the responsibility on your person to be something for you. Get creative. Be someone who is blessed, who is grateful, and seek to bless and be an instrument in the lives of those around you. That does not mean meddling and pushing an egoic agenda. That means allowing your intuition to guide you with peace, with responsibility, with sovereignty, and with knowing of what is right. What can we see for what needs to come to light with our person? The sun. So all of this is coming to light, that when we're in alignment, it's divinity blessing divinity. It's so creative, it's joyful, it's beneficial, it is progressive, it is a ripple that rolls out around the planet. What can we see for what needs to be illuminated on the heart of hearts regarding our person? Well, look, there's the planet. This abundance is larger than the world. It's divine love. This is the energy of generosity, of safety, of the cosmic, of the divine. And that is the love that we have for each other on this journey. that's becoming more evident through us, through our embodiment, our alignment, our discernment. What is this doing? Healing the heartache. There is a rawness coming up in the energy because there is a safety. This abandonment wound that we are all destined to be healing within humanity at this time is allowing for the rawness to be seen without fear of being rejected, ridiculed, condemned. We have hearts big enough to handle all the problems of the human condition, the traumas, the acting out, the vile, despicable, lower vibrational things. Divine love is such that we can see these things as afflictions to humanity, sickness, imbalances that do not have to be there. When we feel safe and seen, we do not adopt these lower vibrational coping methods, and we are safe to release those things that came from trauma, and our hearts heal. This message has been coming out in the last few days on my YouTube readings, specifically with the masculines individuating from some of the deeper, darker secrets that they've carried in their lives. And that the feminines are truly compatible with the compassion for specifically the things that their particular masculine struggled with or was ashamed of. The feminines have done the healing work to not be triggered by that particular thing to the degree that the masculines are able to release their ego identification with that very darkness and be completely exonerated, forgiven by their feminine. Now, this is not something that is pretend. This is either the story or it's not. Many people will not heal that. So read the room with if this is your reading. But this is saying that the counterparts are safe, sacred space for each other, for the real them. Our love is actually divine and big enough to meet each other on the other side of all of the things connected with being born into these karmic lives that we have been born into, and to transcend with this star path of destiny. What can we see that further brings this into clarity? 9 of Cups, continue to listen to what your heart is guiding you towards with this person, with this love. Continue to be peaceful within your being so that you are spacious enough to hold space while these kinks are worked out, burdens are released. We've been doing so much healing as individuals. And as we start to come together more in sacred union, these things that have been causing the resistance to union will be agreed to be released energetically or consciously by the couples, and they will not be a factor in the dynamics going forward. We're leaving those at the door, checking those things at the door, because there has been legitimate trust building, legitimate healing, legitimate safety, legitimate love demonstrated between counterparts to warrant that. This is, again, not something that can be faked. This is heart-guided. This is not an eye for an eye way of the world. This truly is safe, sacred space for the counterparts to be themselves and to no longer be the versions of themselves that coped with trauma and disintegration in the ways that are never going to be employed again. What are we meant to see fully about the manifestations going forward? Yes, this motion forward. So again, the magician was manifesting momentum. The very first conscious awareness that we were asked to look at here. And now we have the chariot again. So here is the magician driving the chariot. It does not look like the emperor in this. I'm getting that it is that magician again. Yeah. So this is the brainstorming. Seven of Cups is the daydreaming, the brainstorming, feeling into different potentials. There's no limit to the various creative, beautiful ways that these connections can adorn the world, I just heard, with their awesome energy. And so while we move forward, we will have ample opportunities to make the world a more beautiful place in all the unique combinations that we can come together in. The definition of genius is taking existing things and using them in new ways. And that's the message I'm getting here, is that when two individuals have truly overcome their strife and they are now in a clear conscience, they're in righteousness, they're in alignment, they're in freedom and joy and creativity, now we're really talking. That is absolute soul fire freedom to come together and channel, like I'm seeing laser beams exponentially coming together with potency to make dreams come true and innovations come to life and joy again spring up. It's play, it's fun, it's delightful. What can we see regarding our counterpart? Three of Cups in the inverse. So this is a synergy reserved for true love. This is why we have power couple dynamics. That may not be divine love every time, but it's touching on it. It's in that direction. There are elements of power couple dynamics that reflect this yin-yang balance of divine love. And so we don't necessarily have power couple dynamics in every divine template per se, but that energy that's generated when we truly make love in a focused, heartfelt, righteous way, there's nothing like that. There's no comparison with the amount of energy generated into the world for the good. What can we see for the actions that we're being guided to look at? Coming together, reunion. So we've got a couple messages of manifesting forward motion within our own psyche, to be able to believe it in order to know what steps to take next. When we're skeptical, we won't take the steps that a believer would take towards reunion, towards harmony, towards connection. You can, in this moment, consider, in an ideal world, if you were to wave your magic wand, what is one thing, if you had no fear, no filter, no hesitancy, no stigmas, no limitations from your person, what is one thing that you could do if circumstances were ideal to come one step closer to your person from your side of the energy? Conversely, what is one thing you could do to dismantle some kind of a circumstance or belief or energy on your side to allow for a little bit more receptivity? This is what we're meant to take action towards: unity. And yeah, we're meant to invest in real ways. The Seven of Pentacles is an investment card. We are meant to choose something, one thing, not all the things, just one at a time, to go towards union and invest in it. Invest in the direction towards union. Don't serve two masters. Do not serve fear and union. Do not serve skepticism and union. Follow your heart and choose that option. Eight of Cups. So right now, this is in the inverse. This is gone but not gone. So aloof energy, it's kinetic, it's potentiality. This speaks of open potential, ripe for the plucking. So we can decide what to invest in. Where attention goes, energy flows. So in all of the potentials, choose something that you're grateful for and affirm it enough to yourself, to the point that it allows you to conceive of what you could do to celebrate that a little bit further in your own way, towards your counterpart, into the world. That's how we knit together new realities. What can we see for the biggest challenge that we're meant to look at? Internal victory, vindication between you and Source, not boasting, not fame and fortune for fame and fortune's sake, not showboating, not bragging, not flexing and flaunting and gaining attention for attention's sake, but between you and connection to Source, righteousness, alignment, truth, integrity, character, compassion, honesty, balance, peace. That's the challenge. It's not what's out there. It's what's inside that counts, and what is between you and the divine. There has never been a time on the planet that is more in favor of mass righteousness than now. Do your share, do your part to find what that is for you and your connection to Source. Can you for a moment imagine what it would be like if everyone on the planet did that? Can you for a moment? Knight of Pentacles, this is that pentacle here. The challenge of coming towards union is coming towards that righteousness within your core. Investing. There's one pentacle here, one pentacle here highlighted, and that is the investment in self. That translates to the investment in your highest timelines, with your abundance, with your union, with heaven on earth. So, invest in your connection to Source, your alignment, your truth, your righteous truth, divine truth, love. And how does this translate? 10 of Swords. Okay, so this is what heals your abandonment wound, viewer. This is the remedy for codependency and fearing that somebody I want to say the insecure attachment. When you have secure attachment to source, you have unconditional love with people. Your balance is not dependent on the actions, words of others, and you are safe. And not only safe, but then can be generous without taking it personally, without an agenda, without assumptions, without attachment to outcome. You can just show up and make the world a better place. This is the answer to all of the things that your heart actually desires. The devil energies, the illusions, have many tempting ways to try to convince you that that way, is the right way. Going within to your heart, into alignment, into righteousness, into connection, is the only way. What can we see for, what do we do? The solution to that challenge? Trusting your emotions. So in this period of spaciousness, get to know what your emotions are actually informing you of. They are such sophisticated instruments. Your emotions tell you everything you need to know about life, about navigation, about moment-to-moment discernment of energies, of frequencies. If you can learn to attune to the truth of what your emotions are telling you. You know, we have various levels and layers of emotions. We can have a truth that says, I'm angry in this moment. Anger doesn't have clarity though. So if we're angry, we actually haven't found the deepest or highest truth. And so we can drop through those emotions and find the root of any lower vibrational emotion that we're confused by. So this is saying, get to know the seed, the root, the origin of everything you experience emotionally. While you're in this period of spaciousness, invest in understanding what your emotions tell you. Trace your emotions to their origin within your own reality. Learn to distinguish between emotions that come at you from external sources and those that originate within you. Learn to see how those reflections and reverberations interplay with each other, mirror with each other. Meditate on these things. Use analytical meditation to observe these things. You have these beautiful connections at your disposal to play with those concepts, to spin them around, to look at them in the past, to see potential future things playing out, the mechanics of dynamics and emotions. Two of Swords. So blockages are illusions. They are only there to allow you to redirect your focus to your internal awareness. There is no blockage that is insurmountable. So for many, one or the other counterpart may have blocked at this time, and I'm hearing it's for a whole range of reasons. Some of them are direct, some are indirect, some are accidental, some were sabotage. Lots of reasons. Every one of them has one thing in common. It's an illusion, and it's an opportunity for you to get to know your emotional triggers and responses, and to understand with sovereignty that you're accountable for your perspectives, beliefs, actions, interpretations, and your person is responsible for theirs. I want to say no questions asked, no apologies. That's just the way it is. That's a key to peace. What can we see for the person we're each connected to? 9 of Pentacles. In the inverse, that is a codependency card. So this is unraveling codependency when we don't defer to anyone else for our emotional take on things. We observe our first instincts with it, but we also seek deeper understanding to know if it is our deepest truth or if it is a more surface level response. Many times the emotions we feel when we first encounter an exchange with someone, if we are not the initiating party in that exchange, oftentimes the emotions we feel will be the emotional frequency of the person that has extended something towards us. Good, bad, and ugly. And so many times we're hit with a particular frequency of emotion, and we assume that it's our emotional response. Oftentimes we're picking up on either the direct emotional frequency of that person or the reflected or equal and opposite. There are a few different things that can happen in exchanges like that. But this is saying, keep them separated. Allow them to be unique experiences of energy. That when we understand our intention, our hearts, if our conscience is truly clear and we are right with the divine, we know for certain that any lower vibrational suffering is the experience of the person that we are connected with and not our own. We don't have that same level of confidence if we are in turmoil, if we are suffering. When we are suffering, we may very well put that suffering onto someone, not intending to. Sometimes when we're in a lot of disintegration, we want the other person to feel what we're feeling. There's all different ways that we can learn. Karmic partners and experiences teach us more from that angle of irresponsible exchange of emotions and frequencies. The more we come into love, the more we experience a divine exchange, an elixir of life and love with another. What can we see in the near future for what we need to have illuminated? Turn the frown upside down. No more grieving. This is really lemonade out of lemons. This is really looking at how profound these journeys are to teach us this stuff about energetics and manifestation and love. And our own divinity, our own ability, our own accountability, our own responsibility, our own contribution to this time on the planet. King of Swords, this is the truth. This is the highest truth. This is the highest truth coming through these journeys, is learning to take our thoughts captive, to master our speech, to listen to our hearts, to advocate for integrity, righteousness, truth. And we're all doing it together. What do we need to see about our counterpart? Queen of Pentacles, this is the nurture. This is the benefit of the doubt. This is the kindness. This is the honor. This is the respect. This is the ego agenda free connection with another person. A soft, genuine connection with another person. This is comfort. This is peace between people. Peace on earth. We don't have war in us when we have the skills to balance ourselves out, to read energy, to understand on that level what's going on. We don't have to have arguments and debates and conflict to try and figure out who's right. When we have compassion and clarity, we can bring our truth to the table, and we can see how things can all work together instead of that hashing and rehashing things, trying to find some kind of awareness, the blind leading the blind. We must hone listening to our hearts as individuals. Drop through beyond the conflict. Stick with it. Cultivate the discipline to do this reliably. Okay, let's have a talisman oracle. What can we see for light coming in? Let go. Let go of needing to be right and instead witness what is true. Pay attention to what's actually there. Let go of attachment, agendas, assumptions, expectations. Fall in love. Let go. Just like running water, everything keeps constantly changing. You've been holding on to a burden that's been slowing you down. Sometimes we know what that is. Other times we need to examine our needs and behavior. Often holding on comes from the need to control our life and surroundings. It gives us comfort that we can direct the circumstances and avoid a painful path. So lots of messages came in about directing our attention to focus on the things that we wish to celebrate. This is talking about trying to mitigate through the things we're afraid will happen, which is different. So letting go of the illusion of control, we can find peace and enjoy the ride. Being vulnerable offers an opportunity for connection and closure. The little crab has to learn to let things go. The flower in front of him is a delicate gift from nature to bring joy. Yeah. So the crab is focusing on something beautiful and stopping and smelling the roses here. This crab is present. This crab is offering beauty. Art into the world. You are a living work of art. Oh. Okay, also, if you have come this far, I know I've been mentioning that I have a mega sale on my readings till the end of July, but I have nobody booked for next week. What? It's still June, but you can still access that same deal. They're the only prices on my website right now. I don't even have the regular prices there, so get a session next week. Or I guess I'll just have to have a week off to go traipse through the forest or something. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.